Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for die-hard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and welcome to the new viewers and the returning die-hard subs to the channel. We do weekly interviews here and provide analysis on the latest Bengals breaking news. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know how to subscribe, there's a button below this video, and we also provide a link in the video description. So if you're looking for that, it should be there. As you know, we also partner with Fanatics, and today Fanatics just released the Joe Burrow Color Rush jerseys. The link is in the bio. You guys know it. If you support this channel and you use our link in the description, we get 8% of all sales. So be sure to check those out and get your Joe Burrow jersey from Fanatics, officially NFL licensed. Who dat? James Henry Harrison Jr. is the youngest of Mildred and the late James Harrison Sr.'s 14 children. He was born in Akron, Ohio. He played football in high school and in college in Ohio as well, playing at Kent State University, and he was nicknamed Debo after the menacing character in the movie Friday. So he started off his career actually as an undrafted free agent in 2002, and over the next 2 years, he was cut 4 times between the Steelers and the Ravens practice squads and active rosters. And in 2003, believe it or not, he was actually in the NFL Europe Developmental League. He actually was cut from that team, and he was thinking about hanging up his cleats, but he was given one more shot when the Steelers signed him during training camp in 2004. And after playing mostly on special teams that first year, he started his first game in Cleveland, and you guys know the rest is pretty much history. He was a 5-time Pro Bowl selection. He won 2 Super Bowls, and then he ended up 1 year signing with the Bengals. And most people wondered, like, that's crazy. Like, how did James Harrison sign with the Bengals? It was kind of crazy. So what happened around that is it's not as shocking now, because to find out that he was from Ohio, he played, high school here, he played college, he came back to Ohio, and he was released by the Steelers in early March of 2013, and he was unwilling to take a pay cut. That was kind of the reason behind it. It kind of caused some issues there, and most people thought that his motivation with signing with the Bengals was for revenge. And so he ended up signing a 2-year deal with the Bengals in 2013. It was actually today, which is 5/21 or May 21st of 2020. This is, I guess, the 7-year anniversary of that. So he ended up signing with the Bengals, and when he signed, his agent said that anytime that you can get James Harrison on your team, it's a great day. And the Bengals were in need at the time of a Sam linebacker for their base 4-3 defense. They were kind of courting a couple of guys out there, but they ended up going with James Harrison. And they had Vontaze Burfict, who led the team in tackles at will. They also had Ray Luga, who was re-signed as their Mike linebacker, but they lost some Sam linebackers and Manny Lawson, and they thought that with Manny Lawson coming from a 3-4 system and fitting so well and doing such a great job for the Bengals, they felt like they could do the same with Harrison. And most people were excited about this, but Harrison for the most part always played in a 3-4 defense. So the Sam linebacker in the Bengals defense in 2012 only played like a third of the team snaps. So for that aspect, he wasn't going to really be utilized that much. So that's one of the reasons why it just really didn't work out. And the issue here wasn't really necessarily that James Harrison wasn't a great player. He just didn't fit the scheme. The Bengals had long employed a 4-3 and nickel look for their defense, and Harrison's role as a strong side linebacker in that scheme, it just really didn't fit. It just really didn't fit for both sides. Now, there were some up and downs throughout the season. A lot of people think like, oh, it just really didn't go well, because when you look at the raw stats, it said that he only had 30 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and 1 pass defended. That was pretty much the worst numbers he'd ever put up in his career. But you have to remember, he did actually end up on that interception. It almost was a pick 6. But when you look at the Pro Football Focus numbers, it gets very interesting. Like, of course, you're not going to have anything that really stands out there from that standpoint in terms of your actual stats and your tackles and your sacks and stuff like that. But he actually did do good according to Pro Football Focus. He was an elite run defender. He was great in coverage. He was a good tackler. spectacular, but he was average as a pass rusher, which most people kind of looked at because this was a guy that was just blowing it up in Pittsburgh in terms of his sack totals. So that was something that most people looked at, but it wasn't as bad as people really think in terms of that aspect, because the following year they ended up cutting him and they ended up finishing 20th in the NFL that season in 2014 in terms of guarding the run. I mean, he definitely would have helped there, and the Bengals moved on from him because they thought that they had better youth at the linebacker position, and they really didn't. And then he goes on to retire, quote unquote, but actually ends up playing for the Steelers that year and has a pretty good year. So I think that it just didn't work because the Bengals didn't find creative enough ways to utilize this guy. I think if they would have tried to put him on the defensive line, I kind of tried to look at those aspects. They only played him 56 snaps on the defensive line. I would think that you would want to get a guy like that on the edge. I know he is small, but you would think if you had someone like Harrison, that's where you would try to deploy him. Now, they did try that sometimes, but not that often. For the majority of his season, he played 336 snaps in the box, and most of those were at left and right outside linebacker. And so, to me, that's the reason that this didn't work. I think that it could have worked, and I think that the Bengals could have done some things like maybe if this were the Bengals in recent history, right, where we've got those multiple fronts and that multiple defense, but back then it was just purely 4-3 or nickel. And so I say that to say that this really didn't work out because of the scheme fit mostly, and there wasn't enough creativity used to utilize him. And so I think if that was probably taken into account, if maybe they tried another year to see where it went, maybe it could have worked out, maybe it couldn't have. But I mean, it's one of those moves that people will always remember, especially seeing him on Hard Knocks. It was so crazy. But one of the benefits of having him on the team was a lot of the linebackers and a lot of the guys on the team and on the defense learned how to take care of their bodies. This was a guy that was a machine. For him to play as long as he did in the NFL, he definitely passed on that wisdom and that leadership to guys like Vontaze Burfict and other guys in the locker room like Carlos Dunlap in terms of how to lengthen your career. And it wasn't all bad, because in week 2, Harrison got his revenge against the Steelers, and the Bengals actually beat the Steelers on Monday Night Football that season, winning 20-10. And I mean, for us fans, it was just a memorable moment. Him like running from the cameras in Hard Knocks, don't touch the merchandise, all those crazy moments that we had, I think made his time in Cincinnati entertaining. And when he left, he said that he had many thanks for the Bengals fans for the support over the last year, and said that he had a great time in Cincinnati. It just simply didn't work. So let me know what you guys think of the James Harrison situation. Why didn't it work? Was it that it was a mismatch in scheme, or did the Bengals just not use him right? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We like to have a community here of individuals with their opinions. But as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday. New Stripe City is proud to announce that our channel has partnered with Fanatics, an NFL licensed merchandiser for NFL.com and Bengals.com as well. Through Fanatics, you can buy men's and women's and kids' Bengals apparel and jerseys, and also help grow our channel through using the links in our video description. When you do that, it truly helps grow the channel, and we did this because it allows Bengals fans to not only enjoy our content, but also get top-tier authentic Bengals merchandise. So if you're looking to get a new Burrow or T. Higgins jersey, or even a fresh hoodie or a hat, click on the link in our description, and when you do that, it helps support the channel. Now, when you order a rookie's jersey, and that by rookie I mean Joe Burrow or T. Higgins, it's a special event item, meaning that the NFL has to confirm rookie jersey numbers first before sending it out for production and shipment. And also with COVID-19, it also has slowed this process down as well. So one thing that you'll notice is that you may receive an initial delivery date of October, but that is due to those restrictions. I've been told by Fanatics' support team that once jersey numbers are confirmed and the supply is received, that the item will immediately ship out, meaning that you can expect to get your item sooner than October. However, if you have any questions about your order or when it's going to be shipped or any details, you can reach out to the Fanatics support team on Twitter at Fanatics Support. You can direct message them with your order number and they will give you an update on it. but your jersey is covered for up to 365 days. And this is something that applies to whether you buy it on NFL.com's NFL shop or the Bengals Pro Shop online. We all are under these restrictions, so bear with us. We appreciate it. And as usual, make sure that you're rocking with us on Who Day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.